Hello guys, and welcome to my second edition of What to Pick. I'll be going over 3 starting hands again and explain what I'd pick and why. Let's start with the first hand. It's ThorGate versus CrediCor. And I think CrediCor is one of the best corps if you have no idea what your starting hand is, because it's just generically good with a lot of money and utility that is almost always useful. So I'll pick CrediCor for now and see what my starting hand is. So these are some pretty good preludes. Eccentric Sponsor really relies on the starting hand. You need an expensive card that you can play with. Quiet Space Agency, I really like it because it gives you card draw, and then the Titanium, you can be sure that you can do something with it because you have 2 space cards. Great Aquifer, I really like that prelude because you can pick up cards, steel, plants, titanium, whatever you want. And Power Generation, it's a pretty good prelude, but you need some power hungry cards for it, because in the Steam version of the game, of course, you're not playing with colonies. But if you're playing with colonies, then this prelude is even better. But let's pick these two for now, because I think they are generically really good. Let's see my starting hand. Okay, I already see some combo potential here. We have Olympus Conference, one of my favorite cards, because it gives you unlimited card draw, just relies on the amount of science tags you have. And there's already a science tag. You also see 2 earth tags for Cartel. Definitely pick up Cartel. Also interesting, Nitrophilic Moss, because we have Great Aquifer. We're almost at 3 oceans already. This is a really efficient plant producing card, so maybe I'll pick that up. Power Supply Consortium, this could be interesting for ThorGate, but I don't think I will be playing ThorGate with this hand, because yeah, I don't see a lot of power production cards, and I also don't see cards that need power, so there's basically no reason to play ThorGate. ThorGate is only good if you have power hungry cards, or if you're playing with colonies and you just like to go to colonies, like to fly, like to trade. Then ThorGate can be pretty good, because this company can get up to 3 power production pretty easily. But yeah, I think I'll pick CrediCor. And I also think that I will stick with these 2 preludes, because we don't have an expensive card for Eccentric Sponsor, and we don't really need the power production. So let's pick these 2. Then these 4 preludes for sure. We don't need this card. Pick this one because it's a science tag. Can combo it with Olympus Conference. I will definitely pick mining rights because it's cheap titanium or steel production. And maybe I will even pick up plantation. Why that? Well, we have the science tags to play it already. And let's say we get up to 3 oceans. Then we need 2 plants to play Nitrophilic Moss as early as possible. And we could play mining rights on this spot here, get the titanium production, and then place the plantation right here or right here to get to 2 plants, and then we are able to play Nitrophilic Moss. The sad thing is there's no cards over 20 for CrediCor, but you don't really need that. You will pick up some cards over 20 during the course of the game, and the cards that we have are already pretty good. We have some money production with Cartel, we have a lot of card draw with Olympus Conference, and we have some mineral production with mining rights. I think this is a great start. So yeah, let's get to the next hand. So this is the second hand I drew. It's UNMI against Mining Guild, and these are really corps that rely on your starting hand. None of them is generically good. So let's just go with UNMI first and see what we drew. So what's already great for UNMI is that there's a prelude that gives you a TR bump in the first gen. So you don't have to do anything in the first gen to be able to do UNMI's action. So this is pretty good for UNMI. we don't see any placement tiles, no placement preludes, so nothing for Mining Guild really. IO Research Outpost is a pretty good prelude. Maybe we could pick these two. But also loan is pretty good for UNMI, because UNMI needs a lot of money in the first gen to develop some economy or to set up some reliable way to bump your TR every gen. So this is also pretty good. Let's just say we go with UNMI and pick these two preludes, but let's see what the starting hand is. We have one space event, which is good for UNMI because it gives you a TR bump, but it's also pretty good for Mining Guild, because you can place a tile, an ocean, place it on either the titanium or steel, and get a steel production with Mining Guild's ability. But it's also really expensive, and Mining Guild starts off with only 30 mega credits. So yeah, it's pretty hard to play that one in the first gen for Mining Guild. But some great cards on his hand. But I see something we could do with UNMI. If we choose Loan and Smelting Plant, we can immediately do the action in the first gen. That's good. And we have Power Plant and Solar Wind Power to be able to play Carbonate Processing, which is really good for UNMI. This is basically every third gen you can bump the heat, and you need that for your ability. We have Towing a Comet, and the second power production is for Electrocatapult. We also have steel that we can sell because we have Smelting Plant. And then I also see Media Group, pretty good for UNMI, because often you want to play some events, because events often give you TR bumps, and then Media Group pays off really quickly. Also, Media Group is in and of itself a really good card. How many science techs do we have? We only have one science tech, so I wouldn't really pick up Gene Repair. UNMI is already short on money. Of course, we have Loan, but still, we need a lot of money to get UNMI going. Maybe I would pick up Moss even, because we can use the plant production later for Electrocatapult once our steel runs out. And yeah, we have 70 money with Loan, minus the 21, that's 49. That's definitely enough to play Power Plant, Solar Wind, Electrocat, and Carbonate. So maybe I would even pick up Gene Repair, because we have so much money in the first gen. And then in the second gen, we play Towing a Comet, so we are able to do our action again. And play Media Group first, of course. So yeah, that's the hand I would pick for UNMI. And I think it's better in this case than playing Mining Guild, even though I like Mining Guild a lot. Problem is just that Towing a Comet is really, really expensive, and it's the only placement card that you have. So there's really no reason to play Mining Guild. Let's get to the third hand. So for my third hand, I drew Tharsis and Robinson. I think Tharsis is better in most cases. Let's pick it for now. And let's see. No City Prelude, and this prelude is actually not that good for Robinson, because most cases you want to increase your power of Robinson to play power hungry cards. But if you run out of power hungry cards, then it's also great for Robinson to increase steel or titanium production. But with this prelude, your lowest production won't be steel or titanium anymore. So it's not that good for Robinson. But of course, if you pick Tharsis, it's pretty good prelude. Business Empire, I really like. It's a lot of money production. Let's just say we pick these two. That's like really good production from the start of the game. And what do we have here? I see no city cards. Also not really any plant production cards, because these two suck. So, and of course, nitrogen rich asteroid is a really good plant production card, but it's late game. So not really any reason to pick Tharsis. I think I see an opportunity to play Robinson. With Robinson, of course, we don't want to pick Metals Company because of the reasons I just explained. And we also don't want to pick a research outpost, but we of course want to pick Business Empire still. And I also saw a really expensive card that I want to play in the first gen, so Eccentric Sponsor is pretty good. Let's pick these two preludes. Convoy from Europa is a pretty good card. Interstellar Colony Ship, a lot of points in the late game. Let's grab that card. And then the expensive card I talked about is Space Elevator. Of course, it gives me titanium production, which then means I can't increase it anymore with Robinson, but we can still increase the steel production. So this is quite good. Carbonate. That's also quite nice because it's a power hungry card, and I will probably play it in the second gen. I will increase the steel production in the first gen so that I can use Space Elevator in the second gen. And then in the second gen, we can also use our ability again for power and play Carbonate. And I see a lot of heat production as well with Mohole and imported GHG. So maybe we go for a lot of heat production. This is already 8 heat production, which is quite strong. I of course want to pick up Nitrogen Rich Asteroid. It's one of the best cards in the game. And we're likely to pick up some plant tax to be able to get the most out of NRA. And it's always an idea to pick up Virus because it's -2 points on somebody if he has an animal card, but we already have 7 cards, so I don't want to pick it up in this case. So yeah, that was the third hand, and I hope you enjoyed my video on what I would pick in 3 different scenarios. And if you'd decided differently in any of these scenarios, please let me know in the comments. And yeah, see you in my next video. Bye.